Today we're going to build a sandbox out of 2x6s, so let's get started. When I say that we're going to build a sandbox, I don't just want to build any ordinary sandbox. I want to build something that you're able to cover up and sit on at the same time, and still keep this build relatively cheap. So now let me show you what you're going to need. As you guys already guessed it, you're going to need 2x6s. Now the dimensions I'm going for with the sandbox is 6 foot long by 4 foot wide. So with those dimensions, you should roughly need 10 2x6s. You also may need 2 2x4s, or you can just buy another 1x6. When it comes to hardware, all you're gonna need is 3-inch long screws, 8 door hinges or any other hinges you got lying around, and 4 little handles. And for tools required, you'll just need some sort of miter saw or circular saw and a drill. So let's get to building. And real quick, leave a comment down below on what you think of the new apparel, and if you want some for yourselves, leave a comment down below. So the first step now is take 6 of your 2x6s and cut them in half into 4 foot sections. Safety first. Now that we have the boards cut into 12 pieces of the same length, we need to space them out evenly. And to do this, I'm just gonna use this 1/4-inch thick piece of plywood and space them out. Now we need to frame out the box that's gonna sit below the wood. And to get the correct length for this, each board is 5.5 inches because it's not true dimensional lumber. So you're gonna do 5.5 times 12, then you're gonna do 0.25 times 11 because there's 11 gaps in between the boards. And then that's how long the 2x6 needs to be. So the length is 68.75 inches. So now let's cut 4 boards of that length. That ain't lining up. I don't know what happened, but I must have mismeasured, and it's actually 70 1/4. That lines up way better. Now you need to cut 4 more boards the same length as the top boards. We could have done this before, but I forgot. And these boards are gonna go on this end and this end of the top. Now that we've got the top boards out of the way, we need to make one more measurement and cut. And the measurement we're gonna make is to measure from the top to the bottom of the walls so that we can have one piece on each of the walls to help hold the 2 2x6s together. So we're gonna take the scrap wood we have and cut 6 boards that are 10 inches long. Now take the boards and sandwich them together. Take the piece you just cut, screw it to the end on both sides of the long pieces. There's one, let's do that side. Now for these shorter boards on the end, line them up and put one piece right in the center and screw it together. Let's finish the other 2. Now that all the 2x6s are joined together, let's connect the 4 boards together and create a rectangle. So what we're gonna do right here is push the 2 corners together and screw them together. Let's do the other 3 sides. One quick tip is I always recommend starting to screw at the bottom because that's gonna be the most even and level, and it'll suck the 2 pieces of wood together, and then you can work your way up with the screws. That's nice and solid. Now we can start putting the top on. So to install the top, you're gonna wanna lay all 12 boards on top and evenly space them out, and then we can start putting them together. So now that all these boards are laid out, I wanna screw these 2 boards on this end and the other 2 boards on that end in, and then we'll start working our way in. Make sure you take the same piece of wood or spacer or whatever you use to space your boards out and slide it in between each board when you're screwing them together. Now let's go do that other side real quick. The other thing I forgot to mention, but I really want to point out, is this board needs to go past this 2x4 wall right here, which you'll understand why once we finish off the top. Now we need to set up our bench. And in order to do that, we need to cut 2 more pieces that are 10 inches long and then rip them down the center. And these are gonna screw into this side and that side and connect these 2 boards together. Now that we got these 2 pieces of wood cut, let's screw them into these 2 boards to connect them, but also make sure you put your spacer in so you have a nice even space. Quick tip to prevent the wood from spinning, put the drill in reverse and let that screw run for a couple seconds to really heat up the wood, and then put in forward and screw it in and your wood shouldn't split. Now that these 2 boards are joined together, let's flip it over, put our spacer in and line it up. And we need to get our first set of hinges attached. When it comes to hinges, I'm just using standard door hinges. I had these lying around. You don't need anything special for this, but if you really want, you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's and pick yourself up some nice outdoor hinges. But these should do just fine for now. Put your hinge on and screw it in. There's one hinge, let's do the other side. Also, to keep all the hinges symmetrical, I'm measuring off the far side in 10 inches. So now that the hinges are on, it should hinge up just like this. So now we need to cut 2 more 2x6s to connect these 2 boards together and also to help create the back and keep it upright when it gets brought to the seated position. So for this, we're gonna cut 4 17-inch long 2x6s, 2 for this side and 2 for that side. So now take your 2 boards and lay them out. Take your spacer and slide it in. Also making sure you line up your boards. And again, the goal here is to keep everything symmetrical. So I'm gonna measure 12 inches off this board to here, and that'll be the center point on this board, and that'll line it up with those hinges there. Now sink your screws in. Let's do the other side. Now that the 2 boards are together, let's line it back up in its place. So what we're gonna do here is we slid our spacer back in, and we're gonna just screw a screw into this board and that board, because we're gonna use this as our template, and flip this up and screw our hinges into the other side. Then we'll unscrew the screws out of here and we'll have that nice hinge action. You'll see what I mean here in a sec. So you can see that this is all one piece now, so we can lay out our hinges and screw them in. Hinges are screwed in, let's flip it back over and unscrew these 2 screws. Now that that's all done, let's flip it up and see how it sits. It's sitting pretty good. So now the last thing we need to do to this side is install the handles, which in my case, I'm gonna be using these handles that the screws going from the back side. I do not recommend using these, it's just what I had laying around in the shop, so I didn't want to spend extra money on handles. If you can get the handles where the screws going from this side, that's the best. Just like that, one side's done, and let me do the other side. And just like that, you're almost done building your sand pit. But real quick, let's make sure it opens properly. Looking good. And feeling good too. So by no means is this exactly perfect. And you can tell if you look right in the center here that there's less of a gap on this side than there is that side. So that means this frame I made wasn't exactly square. But it's okay, because it's only a sand pit and it's just gonna get used and abused outside. So now the next step is I need to tilt it up. But before I do that, I'm gonna screw it down shut temporarily so that 1, it makes it easier to pick up, and 2, it makes it easier to move it out to where I need to place it. So now let me flip it up. Oh God, this thing is stout. So it's flipped up, and the last thing I want to do before I take it outside is put landscape fabric on the bottom of this so that weeds and animals can't get up through it from the bottom. And just like that, the last thing we need to do is bring it outside and put sand in it. However, right now, I'm actually gonna leave it inside and not put sand in it because I'm building a playhouse outside and I need to set it under the playhouse. This is gonna make more sense in future videos, but for right now, I'm just gonna leave it inside and out of the way. Now, I know you guys won't get to necessarily see the final product, but in future videos, you will, so stay tuned for that. And I think eventually I'm gonna stain this or paint it, so also stay tuned for that video. With that being said, thank you for watching this video. It means a whole lot to me and the channel. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if there's anything you think I could have done better to build this, please leave it down in the comments down below. All the materials I used for this project will also be down in the description below, and they are affiliate links and they help the channel out, so please use those. And with that being said, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you in the next one.